Hey guys, welcome to the harbor, welcome to the studio. Today it's about time to make some music. The entire day sitting up there and just working on one of the new album songs. And I heard some rumors about a new MacBook Pro, so let's talk about that. But first, of course, music making.
It's too dangerous to give away. In my mind they'll stay.
All done with a successful session, working on another album track, getting close to finishing another one. And Secrets, the last song, the one you just heard in the intro, is still at spot number 4 of the BEATPORT charts, has over 50,000 plays within just the first, not even 2 weeks after release. So that really cheers me up and helps me a little, because Apple just publicly announced through a lot of YouTubers that there is a new MacBook 16-inch, all of the rumors confirmed. And yes, on the one hand side, I'm happy that they're releasing something new, and it looks to be like a really great unit with amazing specs. But there is also something I absolutely hate, and that like just makes me, like, every second I think about it, really angry. But let's first talk about what's new with this MacBook. So the new MacBook, this right here is not the new one, because it's just out like a couple of minutes, and only like the YouTube channels with 1 million plus got their hands on it. And very smart by Apple to release a product this way. They collaborated with a lot of YouTubers, didn't really do like a full public press event. And that's also not really necessary, because the new MacBook, I mean, not a whole lot changed. So of course, obviously the screen is a tiny bit bigger. The entire body is a tiny bit bigger, a tiny bit thicker. I think like the display is basically still the same. They changed the keyboard. It's now a lot closer to the Magic keyboard you already can buy separately or get with your iMac, which is a little bit better. You have more travel, and also the butterfly mechanism that always got like all of the dust underneath and you couldn't clean it, which made like a lot of MacBooks not usable because you couldn't really type. Even here on my machine, like the shift key, I sometimes have to double press it. The E also like gets sometimes stuck and does 2 E's instead of 1. I'm so happy Apple finally like realized that what they've been doing for the past 3-4 years was just shit. I don't know why they didn't address it a lot earlier. I mean, yes, they put rubber underneath with this generation, but it didn't really help. But let's continue. Display is a little bit bigger. Then, of course, the specs inside are a little bit better. You can now have up to 8 terabytes of internal storage, which will cost you like more than the entire Mac itself just to get that storage upgrade. It's really expensive compared to all other companies. Yes, Apple has like the fastest SSDs in their machines, but still, it's like crazy expensive. The graphics are updated, as well as the RAM now goes higher. This one right here has 32. You can now go up to 64, which is really insane for a mobile machine. And the rest pretty much stayed the same. 4 Thunderbolt headphone jack is still there. That's a plus. The big thing that changed is actually the inside, and that's also the point where I'm getting a little frustrated and angry, because Apple, yes, they admitted by releasing this new machine that their keyboard is shit, but they changed the internals to be able to cool the CPU better. So there's like 20-30% better airflow, the fans are bigger, the structure is bigger, the heatsink is bigger. So everything to make sure that these machines do not thermal throttle. And that's all great, but I think it's like a little too late. They should have done that already with the previous generations. I have here the mid-2018 one with the i9, the one that is very famous for thermal throttling. And it does it every single day. Every day I edit one of these videos, it gets stuck. It throttles and then it's basically useless. There is no way you can continue editing, and there's no way to actually work with it. Even making music with it is really annoying. If you start a new song, it works fine, but if you get to the end where it's really about the detailed work, it's not possible. You can't do it. And I went to Apple a couple of times. The first time they scanned the entire machine and they said it runs as it should. There is nothing you can complain about. It's your problem. We don't see any. So I waited a little. I like every time something happened, I documented it. And I also waited for the big update of the Mac OS to see if that improves anything, but it didn't. So I went there again, showed them all of my proof, and then they were like, yeah, probably something is wrong with your machine. We will exchange all of the internals. I haven't done that yet because I rely on this MacBook every single day. So I will probably buy the new MacBook 16-inch just to be able to work again. I will wait a little, maybe 1 or 2 weeks until other people on YouTube reviewed it and tested and compared it, and then probably get it to be able, to just work without having to wait for a machine that is brand new and is like 4,500 euros. The big part that really disappoints me and makes me feel bad for myself and everyone else that owns one of these, like in between the old generation and now the new 16-inch, because we all basically get screwed. We get a machine that has a faulty keyboard. Apple is even admitting that and is letting you get it repaired. But what does the repair really do if they replace a shitty keyboard with the same exact shitty keyboard? And there is no way to fix the thermal throttling kind of problem. I mean, now Apple offered me to like take everything inside my machine and replace it with new, which means that I have to reinstall everything, all of the plugins for my music making. I might lose some data and all this kind of stuff, which is really annoying and cost me a lot of money and is actually not really possible because I really need it every single day. And it won't solve the thermal throttling problem. It will stay the same. There is no solution to it. Apple just built a CPU inside a machine that is not able to cool it. I mean, yes, you can browse the web with it and it's fast, but the second you really start to throw heavy tasks at the CPU that it should actually be able to handle, it just can't because it gets too warm, it throttles, and that's then basically it. It drops you down to like an eighth or a quarter of the performance you usually have, which like everything gets stuck. The second it throttles, I have to leave the MacBook alone for like 15 to 20 minutes. And then I can use it again for 10 minutes and I have to wait again. And that's like insane for something that calls itself a pro machine. And I think that's also one of the reasons why Apple didn't do any big press event, because everything they introduced into the 16-inch MacBook Pro is just admitting that they failed. They just fixed it. They just made it what it should have been years ago. So I feel, again, really sorry for myself, for everyone else that got one of these machines. They were just trash, especially if you really use them to the max. So I, of course, will head over to Apple, complain about it as much as I can. There are actually some laws in Germany that will probably help me to get my money back. I will try it. Just by law, I actually have a right to get my money back if a machine gets repaired 3 times and they still can't fix it. Now, the next time is the 3rd time. If it still doesn't fix it by law, again, they have actually to give me my money back. If they will do so is a whole nother story. I will definitely keep you updated here on this channel. Let me know what you think about the new MacBook 16-inch. As far from the specs, I think it looks great. It looks like something Apple should have done years ago. They also like put a new mic in there and like stuff that doesn't really interest me that much, but the new cooling, the new keyboard, and a little bit bigger display is nice. Plus, of course, the specs that go up. And also let me know how you feel if you own one of these machines that is faulty with the shitty keyboard and the shitty internals that can't cool the CPU. I feel really angry. I mean, yes, they fixed everything, but they didn't fix it for me. I'm still sitting here with something that is worth a lot and not really usable. And even the guy at Apple that I talked to told me off the records that he thinks like that's a general construction problem. Yeah, he can't do anything about it. They have their policies and he has to follow them. But again, he offered me to force repair it, exchange the internals, but I doubt that it will change anything. Enough about that topic. I'm a little happy that there is at least an alternative for me to get now. I will probably have to get it financed in some way because I just spent that much on this one. And then, yeah, try to get my money back or get this one fixed and then repair it. But I'm really sick of this machine.
In my mind, I'll stay.